we're coming out to Deep Dive DL. My name is Sarah Hoffman, and I'm with Project 412. My job is the ecosystem builder. So my role is to create just a great environment for entrepreneurs to get connected and feel inspired. We do that through different programming events like this that we're having today, and then also through coaching and connections. So if you have any questions after the show, you can let me know. All right, let's get started. Today we have Barb with Getaway Kimonos, and we have Timmie, Landon, and Lillie with Lillie's Lollipops. How are you guys feeling today?
Warm.
Warm.
But great.
All right. So
I'm doing very well.
All right, so first I'm just gonna have each of you tell us a little bit about how you got started with your business. So we'll have Barb start.
Good morning. My Getaway Kimonos are insect repelling, so that's the key piece. And really they got started with the experience of being outside and being chased in during the best part of the evening in the warm weather, whether it was with my kids or with family. And just finding that other insect repellent apparel out there was something that I wouldn't personally wear.
Okay.
You can start. Okay, so we got started with Lillie's Lollipops as a fundraiser for a performing arts trip for me. It was a couple $1,000s that we had to raise, and Mom and Dad were like, okay, if you want to go, then you have to help pay for it. And so I was like, lollipops. It's been a great experience.
Alright, I'm Landon, I'm 13, and how I got introduced is, so I've always been the one to always want money.
It's very monetarily driven.
Yep, so I got invited in, and here I am now.
All right, so when you started, what was it like? Like, what did you lean into? How did you get started? Did you just jump right in and be like, hey, I just know how to make lollipops. I know how to make these amazing kimonos, or kind of where did you go to get yourself oriented and figure out how to start?
I think for us, we'd made peanut brittle with my grandmother at Christmas, and so it was kind of one of those, well, you can learn anything on YouTube, right? So we looked it up and bought a couple molds, and honestly, I was like, just show me the commitment that you want to go on this trip and you want to do this. And she pulled through, but suddenly I was like going from the dream of making a couple $100s to go towards this trip to suddenly it's blossoming, and we were doing more events, and it was fun to set up and take down and just spend time with these kiddos. So yeah.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs have that idea, and then you learn how to make it happen, which sounds really similar. There's got to be some kind of a drive to it. And for me, that's what this was. Initially, actually, it was the idea for insect repelling towels for being on the beach in the evening, when it finally starts to cool a little bit, and the black flies come out. The kids want to stay in the water, and you want to get out, go, right? So this kind of started evolving about, not good at math, but I think it's 11 years ago. And done a lot of different things, learned a lot of lessons, and for me, the timing was right to really lean all the way into this. And just like Timmie said, the beautiful thing about the internet now is you can learn anything and access anything. So you just have to be tenacious enough to continue, fail a couple times, and be resilient.
Speaking of failures, I heard you guys talking about snafus earlier. And every good entrepreneur knows that you're gonna have to fail a few times. That's how you figure out and how you learn and how you pivot. So can you tell me about a time where you had a snafu and kind of how you rallied to get through it?
Lillie, do you want to cover the amazing endeavor that has been our dinosaur gummies?
Oh yeah, so we wanted to make dinosaurs, the little dinosaur shaped things, and we were like, gummies, that will work, that'll be easy peasy, lemon squeezy, no ifs, ands, or buts. Turns out there's quite a few ifs, ands, or buts, and they're a lot more finicky than we anticipated. They're like gooey, and you have to pipe them very quickly, but the molds are like this big, and so we're like scrambling to get them done and then put them in the fridge, and then we take them out, but we didn't put them in for long enough, so they're like melting, and then they melt in packages. And so we tried powdered sugar. Like, you know how gummies come with like a not powdery but very matte finish. So we tried powdered sugar, we tried cornstarch, and it just like melted into a gross gummy amalgam. Which, unbeknownst to us, kids aren't fans of gross gummy amalgams. So we had to pivot from that and put them in the fridge for longer and like figure out what was the ingredient that we needed to keep them solid. So we found out that you need sorbitol and to put them in for like 4 or 5 hours to make them work.
I just want to say gross gummy amalgam sounds like a great band name. But also, I think you could market that to kids. I think they'd be like, gross gummy amalgam? Maybe it's a big word, but anyway, things are curling in my head. I love that story. I just want to say too that for me, as someone who's kind of doing this, or is doing this very much midlife, it's so great, Timmie, that you have your kids doing this, and obviously they're doing it because of her ability to articulate the experience. I just think it's remarkable. So, very cool. What was the question? I know, some snafus. For me recently, because the garments that I create are treated with insect repellent, the Environmental Protection Agency is involved, and the EPA regulates everything that we do, including how things are labeled. Also, the company I partner with, Insect Shield, has their partner labeling requirements. And so there's 1, 2, 3 different labels that need to be on, and they're all specific and need to be on there. And so working with my manufacturer and the labeling piece back and forth, I can give you specifically, the kimonos are ready to ship, but we're 10 labels short. So it's that kind of thing that, you feel bad because people are ordering and they're ready, and that kind of thing kind of gets in the way. And I think that's one of the great things about collaborating, is coming up with something really cool. And another challenge with collaborating is that everybody that you're collaborating with has their own thing that they're already doing. So patience, resilience, customer service is important. I've emailed all of the people who've ordered and said, this is what's happening. You have the option to, back out or hang on. So far, everybody's hanging on. So things like that. I think another thing too, just real quick, it's still hot here. There's still mosquitoes, and that's still happening. But also, the kimonos are not just as an insect repellent, they're fun to wear anyway. But also, you're looking at a market that's much bigger than just local. So then you have to look at what those markets, how do you get into those other markets? And that's not a snafu, but it's definitely a challenge. It's always ongoing, with great results.
So everybody's still good? Lots of laughs. I have been told to ask you where you got your shoes from. You didn't think I'd do it, did you?
I've had them a very long time.
It's nice, you just put things back in your closet for long enough and they come back in style.
Well, or it just feels like, they're new again.
What size is it?
What size are they?
You can try them on a little bit.
All things fashion here today.
Yeah, they're not mosquito repellent.
So-
You can have to spray your feet.
So you all went through the pitch competition. Tell me a little bit about what that process was like just for other people that might be interested in going through it, because we'll have our next round starting in early 2025.
Oh my goodness, it wasn't a lot of hard work, but you had to be resilient, you had to come up with a plan, you had to, if you didn't want to do it, if you weren't fully committed, then you weren't gonna get through. I can remember we had done a video, we were on our way actually to Lillie's performing arts trip, and we did our video submission on my grandmother's deck in Colorado the day before we flew out to LA. Yes, and then we were writing the business plan in the hotel because the due date was going to be the day that we flew back. So there was so much, and then just the time that we would spend running through the actual presentation and getting the rehearsals in. The business contact that we had was so knowledgeable and just very supportive on, okay, so how about like if we had a certain sticking point, he would present a different option. That was very helpful. So the process, there was a lot to it, and looking back, there wasn't anything that we were like, well, we can't do this, because it was very straightforward. And there was a lot of facets, but it was all very well worth it. And the experience alone, I don't know how many people I've told this to, but it was funny because we're sitting there and like, I never coached my kids on how to lose graciously. And the presenters that were up there, I was like, holy cow, these ideas and the way that each person, no ideas were alike. Each one came from totally different industries, and they rocked my socks, and I was like, okay guys, like, we smile, we are supportive, and everybody has worked so hard to be here. And then we get up there and everybody's cheering, it was a lot of fun. So I think as long as you want it hard enough and you're willing to put in the work, then it's pretty, relatively easy. There's a lot to it, but it's nothing that can't be done. So.
I think for me, something that was one of my biggest takeaways is that Detroit Lakes in this area is incredibly serious about small businesses, entrepreneurs, but also all of the entities that offer support work together in a way that is seamless and generous and authentic. I think that collaborative effect between all the groups around here really helps us in a way that I haven't experienced before. So I think that's really important for everybody to understand, get involved. My experience with the pitch competition was that it really helped me focus and organize on the key aspects of Getaway Kimonos. From what problem am I solving? How does solving that problem actually benefit the potential customers? Because at the end of the day, that's what gets them to trade their money for your product. And to really articulate more specifically what this is. And it's also, there's a market that nobody's, like it's, the insect repellent apparel market is something not a lot of people are aware of, so you kind of have to do some educating through that as well. But the number of things that I learned through the pitch competition, I was thinking about it last night. The stack of papers that I had with multiple iterations of business plans and different slides and what was I going to highlight. My suggestion would be that if you are going to get involved in this, and I hope people do, pick one direction and stay there. If you go out looking if you Google business plan, you're going to get 10,000 different iterations of that, and it's going to make you mad in the brain, right? Really lean into the local resources here. Sarah, I know you don't like this, but guided me in ways that I didn't even have the words to articulate what I needed, but she figured it out. So great resources here, and the event was absolutely a blast. I agree with you. People are brilliant. The things that people shared and the depth of their knowledge and subject matter experts, it was really fun to even just be in the audience.
And I must say, the tools that came with, okay, submit a business plan, this is what we're looking for. It was so helpful, because then when we went to go put together the slideshow, I could say, okay, it was kind of like, you know, when you get the syllabus in high school or in college, and they're like, okay, this is the outline. We had that, and so that part of it was easy. So thank you.
All right, now we're gonna open it to some questions. So who has a question?
Oh boy. So much. Barb,
Yes.
so when you, how do you wash? Like, what's the wash and care for the kimonos?
That's a really great question. The insect repellent that they're treated with is actually bonded to the fibers of the fabric. It's not something that I do, I send it away. You know, you can see how thin the material is, right? You can actually wash this up to 70 times
Okay.
before it loses its
And just normal
effectiveness.
wash?
You know, normal wash. You know, definitely don't dry clean it. I mean, you just toss it in your normal wash. You know, I wash it with almost everything, but I also still think that it's not a bad idea to wash it separately. I mean, I have a hard time worrying a whole lot about that because 70 washes, right? But it's a great question, and I think it's one that matters a lot.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. And Timmie and Lillie and Landon, how many lollipops have you sold to date? Do you know?
Holy buckets.
Oh, so we buy our lollipop sticks in packages of 2,000, and I think we bought 4 or 5 of those
I think we're up to
2,000.
like 6 or 7.
6 or 7 of those 2,000 packs of lollipop sticks, so upwards of 5,000 lollipops.
And that doesn't include, when we were first getting started, we would buy them in packages of like 100, maybe 400. When we went down to Little Falls, I counted everything up, and we took, I think, 1,600 lollipops just to that one event. So, a lot. But it's been fun.
I'm just curious what your most, or your top seller is as far as your flavors.
So we actually have a little top sellers pack. They're in the shape of dinosaurs because why not? They are watermelon, root beer, birthday cake, and blue cotton candy. And then blue raspberry has been a really good seller while we've had it. And then some sneaky good ones are tutti frutti and strawberry banana. Like, you wouldn't think that they're really good, but then you try them and you're like, wow, this is really good.
How about you, buddy? What's the top seller of cotton candy?
My favorite would be the lime. It just tastes the best in my opinion. But a lot of people just like pink. It's just more original.
We also have birthday cake cotton candy, which is a whole other layer of yum.
You guys are doing cotton candy too, right? And other goodies? Is that
Yep.
that's your biz?
And then I also do popcorn as well.
Oh, that's right, you just added that.
But say the cool thing about the popcorn.
Okay, so it's not just regular popcorn. A flavor of our lollipops is caramel, so we drizzle caramel lollipop on the popcorn.
Nice,
We call it candied popcorn. How about it?
Yep.
very cool.
A couple of our, like, a roster would be, so we've got lollipops, of course. We've got the gummy dinos. We've got little lollipops. They're bubblegum flavored, but they have a little gumball inside. We call those bubble pops. We just added them. They're super fun. We've got Happy Snappers, which are our own homemade Pop Rocks. They're like fizzy and they're fun. They're Jolly Ranchers flavored. Yeah. So it's lollipops, cotton candy, sour spray. We just added little droppers of sour slime that you can put on your lollipops. It's like a juicy drop pop. They're really good too. So
Did you bring samples today?
Yeah.
I feel like we should have. We could have done like a candy like confetti.
Okay, So I'm asking this question to Barb. I think, are there 4 or 5 different fabrics for?
You mean the, like the colors or the
Yeah.
designs? Yes, there's 3 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, this one I have on. Thank you for that question, Stephanie.
Ooh, that's pretty.
And this is the black sheer. And I have one that's not sheer, it's like ivory, that's got sort of rust and greens, it's kind of floral. It's in the dryer. So, I mean, you can go to getawaykimonos.com and see, and just starting with 3 of them because of the high volume that we have to have for each color to be treated.
And that's why I was asking, I mean, because I go through that same thing in my business.
Absolutely.
You can only have, you can't financially support.
Well, there's that.
But I don't know how many you need to order of each kimono.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, one of the things I have to say is that the 2 companies that I'm working with have been remarkable. I'm just really small fish, and their kindness and generosity and patience with me, we've never met face to face, continues even last night with the labeling thing. You know, we'll just send 10 more. I mean, it's, you know, I feel like your business is only as good as the people you do business with, and I feel really, really great about that. I am a little bummed that I didn't get the ivory one out of the dryer. It's a different fabric. These you can shove anywhere and they don't wrinkle. That other fabric does wrinkle, so you know, I'm kind of working with different ways to play with that. I just want to say one thing really quick about their interactive candy that they have going on over here. I love it. I love it so much. But the honey ones are my favorite.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Literally tastes like it came from the hive. Okay, sorry, a little.
Yes.
But back to kimonos. The ivory one I really like because I mean, you can wear these any time of year, and they're definitely, you know, I call them kind of resort wear, take them with you on your winter vacations. But that ivory one really is something that'll lean into the autumn colors too. So
I have a question for you. Can you embroider these?
you could, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can just, yeah, certainly you could, yeah. I don't know that I want to embroider 900 of them. But you want the logo on them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even like
You could
partnerships
bring,
business.
to
Yeah.
like the Laker locker
Mhm.
for yourself
Yes.
and just
So,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
See another
Well, I already know
partnership.
I want the black one, so.
Anything else?
Oh, sorry. Come on back.
Take a seat.
You guys are so fun. So what is next for both of you? What's your focus going forward?
I have the microphone, so I'll talk.
Good.
Okay. For me, it's, you know, my website is up. Really moving into, as soon as that shipment arrives for me, shipping out. And so there's, you know, that's, you know, getting ready for all that. Everything is new to me. And you know, I hope A, people will be patient. And I also hope B, that people will pay attention to see the reality of what it takes to kind of build, right? But I'm just really ready to get these shipped out. On my Facebook page, I'm starting to do some videos of different ways you can wear your kimono, which is kind of fun. And just kind of exploring and really, really, really trying to learn things like social media. And yeah, a lot of learning.
So we have been pouring our resources, time, and energy not only into events and just making all the fun stuff and overcoming snafus, but we will be doing our grand opening of our Lillie Lollipops trailer that we're calling The Sweet Spot. That'll be on the 28th over at Mabel's in Audubon. It's right around the corner from our house, so we're gonna pull the trailer over there and pop it up and take it open, pop it open. Yes, I'm phenomenal at this, obviously. And then just continue working What about you, Bud?
Probably that. I'll just stick with
Getting my driver's license.
Yay!
Today, actually.
Yay!
River Falls.
I love it.
And graduating this year.
Ooh, nice. Oh, no, yes, that was
You
for
are
me,
graduating.
actually. I am graduating.
Yes, you are graduating this year, right?
Yeah, I'm graduating this year, and then hopefully getting my singing career on track.
All right, and then is there anything that our community can do to support you?
We'll go down the line.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay, well, I got one.
They're ready.
Come sugar your kids up, let them enjoy being a kid, and I try to tell parents, like when they take the wrapper off the lollipop, save that wrapper, split it open, wrap that lolly back up, because they're a good enough size that they like to carry them around at the different events, and then sometimes they get through the whole thing, sometimes they don't. But realistically, there's 4 ingredients in the lollipops, and even only 2 in the honey lollipops. Those are made with local honey, so if you are liking local honey and you want to support that business too, we buy from Hauser's Honey. He's a great entrepreneur. So there's so many benefits just into honey itself. So I figure if you can put it in lollipop form and have kids eat it that way, then it's a way to get it in them. And then, yeah, just support, maybe go to our social media pages. If it's okay, we can link those and just like away and interact and that kind of thing.
I was kind of thinking you're gonna hand it down the line. For me, being new to Detroit Lakes, I'm just really looking to make connections with people. I continue to, I don't know why or how, but meet incredible people here. And I found the community to be incredibly welcoming, incredibly supportive, very entrepreneurial. So as a general ask to the community, continue to support, be curious, and ask questions and show up for all of us. But I would say reach out to me via social media. Sarah has can share my contact information too. Let's connect. Let's talk about where things can go. Sometimes entrepreneurs kind of get siloed in their vision, and it's easy to miss opportunities. I love it when people come to me with ideas, and it's something I haven't thought of before. So you can really be a part of all of this. So.
And what's your website that you just launched where people can buy?
Sure, it's getawaykimonos.com. So it's GetawayKimonos.com. Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Thank you to this amazing community. Like Barb said, oh, holy buckets. There's everywhere you meet, there's somebody else. And I'm gonna kind of segue off of hers. The amount of information that people are willing to share and to really just bring you on and have you come along, or even if it's a simple, hey, I've tried this, what about this? We had somebody give the example of the gummies. They were like, well, try cornstarch, and so that's how we got that idea. And just, yeah, the Deal Lakes area is amazing. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else?
We've been all around the country, and this is by far the best state we've been in.
Twice you've been here.
3 times.
3 times actually.
3 times the charm.
Buy lollipops. Give them to your kids.
And give them to your grandkids. Okay.
And your
Yes,
grandkids.
yes.
Give them to the children in your life. They will appreciate them. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you everyone for coming out to Deep Dive DL. We meet every 3rd Thursday of the month, and we'll put the information on social a couple of weeks ahead of each event. Our next event is at the Maple Hills Orchard, so that's gonna be an extra special one. All right, have a good day, thanks.
Thank you.